Hey yo, what is up everyone? Welcome to the TJAY TV podcast, only on Spotify and Google. How are you doing today? Happy Friday. It's not really much of a happy Friday for most, but with the wildfires in California going on and Los Angeles is completely just, destroyed. I really can't believe that. I really seriously can't. Like, I never knew fire was that bad. Like, I knew they had wildfires, but I didn't think it was really that bad. But I'm pretty sure this was something that happened around the same time last year. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I saw a lot of videos yesterday. And there was one video that the Daily Mail put out on TikTok, and it was two men and their dog, and they were surrounded by the fire in LA, and I'm thinking, like, that's fucking scary. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm demented and I think about this type of shit, but like, I've been thinking about death recently. And I don't know, because maybe I'll be 30 in like 4 days, and it's just been on my mind. I don't know. Probably because of my grandfather. I don't know. Like, that's why I've been thinking about it. But in any event, like, that is probably the worst way to die. From either carbon monoxide, going through your lungs, or smoke inhalation, or just getting burned alive. Like, it's really fucking scary. It really is. Like, and I said something yesterday that I felt like it was kind of insensitive. Like, there are people online on X saying, oh, they got water. They should get over. They have this shit happen to them all the time. They should be used to it. It's not the point. That's scary fucking shit right there, living in LA. And like, the fact that I wanted to live in LA when I was 18 was like beyond me. Like, I was with my uncle in, I want to say 2010, when I was in California for about a month, back when I was 15. We were in Carlsbad, so we were 2 hours away from LA. And it's just scary just to think, like, all that like crazy shit's happening in Santa Monica. I was in Santa Monica in 2018. Tori and I both were. It's just nuts. I mean, I don't know. I feel really bad for the people. I haven't talked to my cousin yet. I usually, I was going to text him yesterday, but I figured, let him do what he's got to do. I'm sure I would have heard something if something were to happen. And, it's just nuts with the whole fucking thing going on. I can't believe it. I still seriously can't believe it. How crazy it is. But yeah, that was a scary fire. And then Henry Winkler said on X, we have an arsonist on the loose. He should be beaten until he's unrecognizable. Now, people are getting violent. And if someone did set this thing on fire, like the whole Hollywood and Palestine, whatever the fucking place is, Palisades or whatever the hell it's called, if there was someone who did start it, there's going to be riots. That guy is going to be beaten to death. Like, he's not going to be beaten until he's unrecognizable. Henry Winkler is getting like wild over there. And I bet you Henry Winkler is probably one of the nicest guys, but the fact of the matter is, like, he's seriously just like wants this dude beaten to death. Like, this is wild. There was a video that surfaced out too that Donald Trump actually he was talking about the fire and how the governor is pretty much like not doing shit. There's a clip about it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
On California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe believe that
Oh,
federal
sure.
aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes.
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done.
You're trying to save a little fish. Oh man, this is fucking wild. Some of the things that like comes out of his mouth are just wild as shit. Honestly, trying to save a little fish. That would have been great to see. Just to have like Trump and Obama and Biden just like debate about the wildfire that's been happening. Like if it were to happen in November, I'm trying to save a little fish. Oh well. Damn, it went up. So the air quality in California is 135 for unhealthy for sensitive groups. Remember when the air quality was like really like crazy as shit back in I think it was like 2 years ago in the summertime when the wildfires in Canada were happening and it was coming towards like PA. That was probably the worst. Like I've never experienced that my entire life. And there was like a theory about that. And they're saying overpopulation. The wildfires are happening because they're trying to kill a lot of people because the world is so overpopulated. That's a lot about these stupid fucking theories with like 9/11 and stuff. Like the whole thing with 9/11, 2,902, was it 2,995? It was around that number. Almost 3,000 people died. And they're saying, oh, the reason that happened was because of overpopulation. Why would the government want to kill people because the world's too overpopulated? It's out of our control. Like the people who are baby boomers or the generation before that who are still alive, they're all gonna die in the next like 5 years, maybe less, depending on how healthy they are. I mean, I don't know. You can't, but the whole wildfire situation, like people are saying, oh, there's a conspiracy that's overpopulated out there. We gotta start these fires. Like I could just see these conspiracy theorists out there that just talk about shit like that. It's kind of disrespectful in my eyes, but yeah, the whole California wildfire thing, it's really devastating. I do hope that a lot of people, are safe and good things happen in the future. But you always gotta look on the bright side of life, like Monty Python sang. But yeah. Anyways, I do want to thank John DeBella for coming on the show. That was a really fun interview. I actually listened to it. I really never listen to my show unless I'm looking for something. But yeah, no, I'm very happy I got to talk to him. He was on my podcast, and if you didn't know, he was on the TJAY TV show. But yeah, no, it was a fun interview. I had a really good time hanging out, talking. I got to get a few other people on the show too. Should be fun. I keep having these like weird like hiccup attacks. But oh well. Oh man, I'm tired. It's been like one of those like weird weeks where I don't know, like ever since it snowed on Monday, and whenever there's like a big snowstorm, I don't know if it's me or if it's just like other people, but like I get really fucking tired. Like to the point where like I want to go to bed for 12 hours because driving in the snow is so much of a mental mind fuck as it is, because depending on how much it snows where you live, say if it's like 4 inches and if you don't got all-wheel drive or any wheel drive in your car, you're driving, you're sliding, you might hit a car depending on if your brakes don't work well enough in the snow. It's really kind of scary. And driving in it on Monday took me like an hour and a half to get to work. And it was just so mind-screwing to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. Like, I'm really beat. So if you hear me yawn, excuse me. I'm not going to turn off the microphone for that, but Yeah, no, that snow really did kind of mind fuck me because it mentally drains me just like thinking about it. And we're getting more tomorrow morning too. Like tomorrow around I think 3 in the morning it's supposed to snow till about 7, and then we're about to get like 1 to 2 inches. That would be fun to get a phone call. I'm leaving my phone off. No more phone calls anymore. I'm done with the phones. I shut my phone off at night. Like I put it on do not disturb so I don't get like a phone call. But that's the other thing too. Like I'm supposed to be off tomorrow, and I worked on the weekend last week, so I'm really not trying to work this weekend. Plus, it's like my birthday weekend, and I'll be 30 on Monday. Not looking forward to that. Although a lot of people have told me, 30 is the new 20. You shouldn't be upset about that. Listen, 30 is the new 20. I don't mind that. Oh, speaking of that, I gotta pay my cable bill. But yeah, I'm just tired. And plus with Naya waking me up every day at 5, it's just not very helpful. She's not a bad dog. We let her sleep on us. It's fine. I don't mind it. She sleeps in the bed. She sleeps at her feet. Today when we woke up, she was right on my pillow, which everyone who loves dogs, they sleep in the same bed. I don't care. My whole thing with that, like, I have a friend who gets like really like jacked up. She's like, "Why is your dog sleeping in your bed?" I'm just like, "What do you mean? Why is she sleeping in bed? She should sleep in her bed." Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but when she was a puppy, she would whine every night, and it was kind of annoying. So to not get her to whine, we put her in the bed. And she sleeps in the bed. It's fine. I don't mind it. But we crate train her like when we're at work, which I hate crate training her, but we don't trust her yet. So the whole deal with that is like Tori was saying, once Naya gets a little bit older and trained a little bit more, we're gonna leave her out of the cage and let her wander, because she'll just sleep on the couch while she's waiting for us. Which is fine, because we did it for my dog, Max. Like, my mom and dad did it when we had a dog, a pug mixed with a rat terrier. His name was Max. So when Max was living when he was alive at my mom's house, we would put him in the cage all day because that was a safe haven. Now, Tori's mom's dog, Sadie, she would always sit on the couch. She hated the cage. So whenever they would go to work, she would sleep on the couch waiting for them to come home, because she was older. But with Naya, she's still a puppy, and I've learned yesterday I can't really go and take a piss in the morning when I get up. So usually it's like me, I get up, I have to pee. But when you have a dog, it's kind of like, with a puppy, you got to get the fuck up and carry her, because I used to carry her down to the door so she didn't pee and make a pit stop. And then recently I just been walking her out, like I haven't carried her. I was like, "Come on, let's go out," and she would follow me. But yesterday's case, I get up, I'm like, I really gotta pee. So I go into the bathroom and take a piss. Naya follows me out. She pisses on the carpet. I'm like, "Motherfucker. Like, why would you piss on the carpet?" I was like, you could have waited 5 minutes. And then today, I'm like, all right, let me take her out again. We're walking out. I'm like, "Come on, Naya, let's go." She's following me. She makes a pit stop and pees in the same spot. Luckily, there's a towel there, so it doesn't really piss me off. But, like, she took a pit stop and pissed on the towel. I'm like, "You fucking bitch." I'm like, "You are a fucking bitch. Why would you do that?" God, I was so mad. And Tori's like, "Well, didn't you take her with you?" I was like, "Yeah, I thought I did, but she was chilling upstairs. She just made a pit stop." I was like, "You idiot." So now it's like, tomorrow when we get up, because she's probably going to wake me up at 7, so what Tori and I do, we stay up late on the weekends all the time. And what were we doing? So we stay up on the weekends, so we try to get Naya just to stay up with us so she can get up later. But yeah. I think tomorrow I'm just going to have Naya walk with me, and hopefully she doesn't make any more pit stops, because the peeing on the towel every morning is just getting like out of hand. Like, don't pee on the towel. That's all I ask. Yeah, but yeah, no, I love that dog. Great dog. Can't wait. Let's see. What do we got going on this week? Because I'm gonna take a quick little break. Stand up for a minute. Scary Mary podcast. That's going to be coming out soon. I did a trailer for that when I did John DeBella show. If you want to check that out, go check it out. Excuse me. Let's see. I'll be on the air tomorrow at 2 o'clock, WWDB, from 2 to 3. You can hear me on the air. That'll be fun. Next week I got word I'm working at Ben FM on Thursday and Friday next week, so you probably won't hear much from me. Maybe on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's really it I'm thinking of. Yeah. You'll probably hear me, excuse me, you'll probably hear me on Tuesday and Wednesday. And Wednesday I'll obviously be on the air from like 1 to 3, which is cool. So if you want to check that out, check it out. It's kind of like with one of those, the one show that I do, a lot of my friends hate me for it. Really, I do a Republican show every Tuesday and every Wednesday from 1 to 3. And it's not like I don't agree with all the Republican people, but like some of the stuff I do agree on, but some of the stuff I don't. Like the one guy is really obsessed with chemtrails. And I showed him a chemtrail the other day. He was like so excited. He was like, a chemtrail? He was like, that is a chemtrail. I was like, oh my God. I was like, why is it so low though? He was like, because chemtrails are all over the place. Like I never met someone who was so obsessed about chemtrails. But in any event, this Republican show, nice guys. I mean, they're not assholes. They're really like the nicest people out there. And they were saying, I do their show. I run their show every day, every Wednesday at DB. But they bring me on the air. And some of the stuff that they talk about, I act like I know. Or, now they know my secret if they listen to the show. You know my secret, guys. I don't know everything you guys talk about. But they were talking about TikTok. And they were like, oh, do you have a TikTok? And I'm like, no. Well, in reality, I do. So basically what I'm trying to get at is, whenever I do a show, it doesn't matter whether it's a Republican or Democratic show or even just some random show in DP, like, I'm an actor. You have to act like them or have a different persona when you're on the air talking about something that you don't really know what the hell they're talking about. You have to act like you know what they're saying. Like, oh, you don't have a TikTok? No, I don't have one. In reality, I do have a TikTok. It's just, that's my whole point. I'm basically acting just to have a voice on the air. That's all I'm doing. I'm not agreeing with everybody. And not that I'm saying I don't agree with all of what Republicans say. But at the same time, I don't really agree with what all the Republicans say and do. I don't really agree with all the Democrats and what they say and do. But there are certain topics I do agree with. Like the whole TikTok ban. I don't agree with that. I don't know who's a part of that. It could be the Republican factor, but I don't think it is. I also saw something else about to back up a couple minutes. Everyone is saying that the Republicans are the ones that started the California wildfires. It's kind of fucking nuts. Like, what? How did the Republicans start the wildfires? I really want to know. Like, these far left people always have someone to blame. But I bet you if like Biden still is in office, so it really wouldn't be his fault because he's MIA at the moment. He was at the funeral though, Jimmy Carter's funeral yesterday. But yeah, apparently the Republicans are behind the fire. That's another thing that's happening too. There's a massive police presence in downtown Los Angeles. This was 10 hours ago. Yeah. Wild. Really is. Let's see. 49 minutes ago. New York City's Bronx blaze injures 7,000. Holy shit. It's more than 9/11. 7,000 people. Over 7,000 people. See, I'm so tired that like I'm trying to think and I can't really think of the number. Hence why I'm like struggling real quick. Student beats up kid and knocks him out. The cousin tries to get in and beat this fucker. X is nothing but people either getting, at least on my page, I don't know why I'm following these pages or why they're on there. Like, it's either people getting beat up, fires, what's going on in the world, like raw news alerts, people getting killed. Like, I just saw a video the other day of two guys that were arguing, and one dude came up and shot him like 5 times. Like, what the fuck? That's all X is. Just another news outlet. Except, like, the news, like, waters things down where you can't see certain things. Like, they say, oh, a shooting happened in Northeast Philadelphia. But in reality, when you go on X, you could check it out, and there's a video of someone shooting somebody. That's what the news is nowadays. It's Twitter. And X. Yeah. Oh, well. Craziest thing happened too last night. I'm gonna play the trailer for the Scary Mary podcast. Like I said, I'm so fucking tired. So yeah, I'm gonna play the trailer for the Scary Mary podcast, all horror, and I'm gonna tell you my story real quick about that. But yeah, here's the trailer for the Scary Mary podcast. We'll be back in like 2 seconds, and I have a lot more things I want to talk about. We'll see you in a couple seconds. Welcome to the Scary Mary podcast, a podcast that covers everything and anything horror related, like UFO and aliens, ghost stories, paranormal experiences, scary movies, and much more. So if you're a fan of scary things, horror related topics, this is the right podcast for you. The Scary Mary podcast, a weekly show devoted to nothing but horror. Only on Spotify. Yeah. Love that song. I like it a lot. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gonna go back to my old ways where I used to say, oh yeah, fuck yeah. And clap. We used to do that. So there was a time, I have a story to tell you that pertains to the Scary Mary podcast. But in any event, I used to go to the bars with my friends, Josh and his brother and a few other people. So anyways, we were at the bar, and there was one time we went to Lorenzo's Pizza in Westchester. It was at like 2 a.m, and there were security guards there. They were yelling at us. It was kind of bizarre. The one time we were there, we were drunk, and we were stomping on the floor, and the one thing we used to say is, I'm going to get in trouble for saying it. Fuck her pussy. We would go, fuck her pussy. And then we would like go, we would just clap. And we would say that out loud. And the security guard was like, if you guys say that one more time, you're getting kicked out. So we're like, all right, whatever. So he turns around and we start going, fuck her. And then like they like, get the hell out of here. So we got kicked out of Lorenzo's for saying that. But anyways, welcome back to the show. You know, living in my old memories. They had some good times. Good times come from good measures. So, anyways, the Scary Mary podcast, anything horror. So basically, I'm going to be doing a new podcast that's going to cover nothing but horror-related subjects like aliens and UFOs, ghosts, paranormal experiences, scary Reddit stories. Pretty much anything that pertains to just something scary in general. I think it would be a really fun thing. I'm very passionate about this stuff. A lot of my friends who are into church, like go to church and praise the Lord and all that, they say, you know, I need Jesus because all the stuff I talk about is not real, even though I believe it's real. I've lived in haunted houses before. Literally, my parents' house were haunted. Like, I believe that house was haunted when I lived there. I mean, even my mom said something the other day. My mom, I was over there a couple weeks ago, and she was saying, I think there's a squatter living in this house because there are things that just go missing, and then they ended up in a different place. And I'm like, are you sure you don't have like a ghost in here that's just playing tricks on you? She's like, no, I think it's a squatter. So she thinks it's a squatter that lives in the house. I don't believe it's a squatter. I believe there's like a ghost in there because weird shit has happened. Like, you can't explain the door physically opening. Like, we saw the doorknob turn by itself and it opened. It was weird as shit. So yeah, no, there's some weird things that are there's weird things going on today. And there are weird things going on in that house. And yeah, I don't know what I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's a good spirit or a bad spirit, but I think my mom's house was haunted. I know A3, my old apartment building in Alden, I know that was haunted. I mean, weird stuff happened there. And I don't know if my house is haunted in Westchester, but not after last night. So last night we were in the bed, we were in our room, and we took a nap. And as we were talking about something, like, we have fans that face us during the time when we sleep just for a white noise effect. So in any event, we had the fan on, and I turn it off because I take Naya out, and then we come back upstairs, and she's talking, and then the fan, it just turns on randomly. Just by itself. It just turns on. So I'm thinking, like, that's weird. Why did the fan turn on by itself? And it's one of those fans that you have to, like, press. It's one of those that you have to press physically to turn on. And there was no timer on it. It just randomly turned on. So how do you explain that? Like, how do you explain just the fan turning on by itself? Really would like to know. Well, your dog probably touched it. No, she was in bed with us, and the fan is taller than her. So, well, maybe it's a thing with your power, with your outlet. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe like outlets can make things turn on and off. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong, but we will never know. We cannot comprehend the supernatural. I really kind of wish that would be a thing. I heard something today on the radio that they were going to have robot dogs. I don't know how true that is either. Like, is that a thing? That robot dogs are going to be a thing in the future? That'd be stupid. I don't know. It's really dumb. It really is. Robot dogs. I don't get it. It's a robot dog. Woof woof. Like, why do we need robot dogs and robot humans? Why can't we just go out and talk to people like normal kids would back in the day? Is that like a thing? Probably not. Oh well. I read something the other day. She was a security guard at my old high school, and she died recently. Mrs. Capizzi. She was great. I loved her. She was really awesome. She was a security guard at the school, and she was very stern when it came to her job because she always didn't take shit. She didn't take shit from anybody. And the thing that made her job so great, where I went to school, a lot of the kids would act like they're big, bad, and tough, but Miss Capizzi would set them straight. And the fact that she would set them straight, it kind of, it just is kind of wrong. Like, she would just set them straight. That's how stern she was at her job. She didn't care who you were. She was stern with everybody, even the teachers. But yeah, she died recently, and it's kind of upsetting. I think her funeral's tomorrow. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to go. I did go to a teacher funeral once in my life, and that was because she was like the oldest living teacher there, like secretary. I don't even know what she did. Miss Gamble. She was great, and she would tell all the people, like, so there would be a lot of guys in my school that would have their pants down to their ass, and she would say, "Pull your pants up, young man." Like, she was just very stern with it. But yeah, no, my that security guard, Mrs. Capizzi, died. It's upsetting. I liked her. She was great. There was this time where I thought I got my ex-girlfriend at the time. She was a girlfriend at the time. I thought I got her pregnant, and you know, I was like really upset because I'm like, oh no, I got this girl pregnant. Like, what am I gonna do? And I was talking to Miss Capizzi about it, and she was saying, like, you know, listen, if you got a girl pregnant in high school, you got to deal with this. Because, like, if you don't deal with it now, like, it's either going to be one of two things. Like, word's going to get out that you got a girl pregnant. Let alone I was a junior, she was a freshman. Which is, like, the worst possible thing. Like, you get, like, I'm 17, got a 15-year-old pregnant. I'm like, fuck. But, she's like, you got to handle this. Because, like, if you don't handle this now, you'll never, like, it's going to get either really bad or really worse in a matter of seconds. And I'm like, you know, you're right about that. Man, I can't believe I brought that up. I never brought that up. I never really bring stuff up like in the past like that. Yeah, there was a time where I and for my family who listen, you know, just so you know, this isn't something I've had planned, but there was a time where I almost got a girl pregnant, and I thought I got this girl pregnant in high school. I'm not going to say her name, but we were kids, and a friend of mine, I remember I was in art class, I'll never forget this. He was like, yeah, I heard your ex-girlfriend is pregnant. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? She was like, well, she says she's you're the only guy she's been with, and she says she's pregnant, so I had to go find her and make sure, and it turns out she wasn't, thank God. But yeah, I can't believe I brought that up. Wow. Yeah, that was scary. That was a scary thing. Like, my heart sank, and my mom, like, when I was a kid, she wasn't an angry woman, but if you pissed my mom off, you pissed her off. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. You pissed her off. And my dad would have thought of me some different way. It was bad. I literally thought I got this chick pregnant. And thank God I didn't. It would have been bad for everybody. Not even me. But it would have been bad for me and her family. It was too much. And we were broken up at the time too. That was bad. It was so bad. Oh man. Now that I think more and more about it, I'm just like, what the hell? Oh well. But yeah, rest in peace, Miss Capizzi. Wow. Talking about her just brought up that bad memory. Let's talk about more bad memories that we had. But yeah. That is an upsetting thing. I'm not doing that. Not doing that email, buddy. No way, no how. Yeah. Oh well. Oh, I do got some good news too. So I did get another promotion kind of at my job. So I got an email I got an email the other day from my boss saying, like, hey, come to my office. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, here it is. I'm getting fired now. I'm like, no more TJAY TV on the radio. So anyways, I go to my boss's office, and she's like, I need you to go talk to one of the program directors at the country station. So I'm like, okay. So I walk down to the country station, talk to the guy. He's like, yeah, you know, I need you to board op for XTU. And I'm like, oh. He was like, yeah, would you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I now officially work at XTU. Yeah, I work for 92.5 XTU. I'm going to be board hopping there, and I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to start doing that soon. So now I officially work for almost every station in this building but one. It's WMMR. Everything that rocks. Yeah, so I got that little snippet for XTU, which is pretty cool. So if you're a fan of XTU and like country music, you'll probably hear them mention my name. That is bizarre. Getting into radio, growing up as a kid, it was always like, you're never gonna make it. It's not realistic enough. It's just a lot of things that I have told my parents what I wanted to do. I've surpassed that. I proved them wrong. And that is pretty much my whole career, proving people wrong. Like, you prove enough people wrong, they start believing that maybe you can do anything in this world. Maybe you can do your dream and do what you want to do. Maybe you can do this, you can do that. Because if TJ proved these people wrong, then I can prove these people wrong. So yeah, it's just something that I've been reflecting on too. Proving a lot of people wrong in my career. And now that I'm working for XTU now. I work for Ben FM, The Fanatic, MGK, Ben FM, which I just said. What else? WWDB. I work for almost every station in this building, besides one. And if I can do that, I can do anything. It's the way I look at it. I tried to do engineering once, but it wasn't for me. Wasn't big on engineering. But oh well. Yeah, but I'll be at Ben FM next Thursday and Friday from 6 a.m. to 9. Be at the Fanatic next Tuesday and Thursday as well. Where else will I be? WWDB on Wednesday. Yes, I'm a working man. Monday I'm off because of my birthday. Tori's taking me to a water park on Monday. Should be fun. Fun times. Fun times come for fun measures. And it's going to snow tomorrow. I'm hanging out with a lot of people this weekend too. It's like I never have busy weekends anymore. I try to keep my weekends just solely like Tori and Naya, just to keep those to my mind. But since it's like one of those, just like one weekend where like, hey, your birthday is on Monday, let's do something over the weekend. Sure. So I got to go to a couple places this week. So I read a story, and it's kind of a fucked up story, but like things like that make me laugh. A man in Ohio has had several cars go through his house. Like, they would drive into his house. And I've seen things like this online before, but I can't find the exact video. But this guy has had 4 or 5 cars go through his house, and he's wondering why. And it brings me up to like weird things you have done in the car. And there are a lot of things that people have done in the car growing up when they were kids. Like, for example, there's this one story that someone wrote to me. These guys were doing donuts in the parking lot. There were 3 guys in the car, and then they had a friend on the roof. And they were doing donuts while a guy was on the roof. And then their friends decided, well, let's go in on the highway while our friend's on the roof. So these guys are driving through on the highway with some random dude on the roof, and the dude's banging on the thing. There's another story that there was a guy who put his car on cruise control, and he was literally driving with his feet while he was... So he opened up his sunroof, he put his full body out there, and he's driving with his feet while the car's on cruise control on the highway. I'm like, what the fuck? I've never done anything crazy like that. The craziest thing I've done in the car was probably drink and drive, which everyone does. Everyone has done it in their life. No one's a priss. Everyone has had a drink while they were driving. The one thing that happened to me, though, and it kind of it's kind of a funny car story, but it's kind of not. So, OG fans remember my friend Steve. We're not friends anymore, but there's one memory that I have with Steve that will last with me forever. So, Steve and I, we would go to job interviews a lot, and pretty much we would go to a mall or go to a country club and be like, hey, my name's so-and-so, I'm looking, can I get an application? He would say the same thing. It was stupid. Like, knowing what I know now, you never go to a job interview with your friend. It's so dumb. So in any event, we go to the mall, the Springfield Mall, and if you know where Springfield Mall is in Delco, there's this like this metal grate in the back of the mall where if you if the mall is overfilled, you can go down there, but there's only a certain amount of clearance that you have. So anyways, we're by the metal grate, and I have these these black khaki pants that I want to put on. So I'm like, hey, let me get out of the car. I want to open the door and put on these khaki pants real quick. So I take off my jeans, and I'm about to have my khaki pants in my hand. Steve jumps from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, closes the door, and he just starts starting off in the car. Now, meanwhile, my pants are down below my knees. I'm running after him like an idiot with my pants down, like, say, give me my car back. And then security comes by, and they're like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, we're nothing. We're just fucking around. And he's just like, you guys are coming with us. So Steve had to stop the car, park it where it was. We had to walk in, and the guy wouldn't even let me put my pants on. I had to walk through the mall with my pants below my ankles to go into the security office, and people were looking at me like I'm a fucking wacko. So the security called the cops. Springfield cops come, and they're like, so what seems to be the problem here? And I was just like, look, we were trying to come here for interviews. I was going to put on khaki pants, and he drove off. We were just making a joke, and I was running down the road trying to get my car. He was like, well, how old are you guys? We're like, we're 16, 17. He's like, can't really do nothing about it, but just don't do that again. So literally we got pulled into the back of the security office. My pants are down. Cops come, don't do anything. We got let go. We got to go home free. But just the fact that happened, like, that's one of the craziest stories that happened that pertains to doing something in a car. But, yeah, no, the reason why I brought that up is because, the guy has had several cars go through his house, which it's not funny, but it is. I stupid, like, when people get hurt, it tickles me. It really does, but oh well. It is what it is. Time is it? It's about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning, which means when you guys are listening to it, you can listen to it whenever. Oh well. Anyways, let's see. What do we got coming out? I already told you guys what's going on this day and that day. Trying to think. Do we have anything else going on? Maybe I'll, what's going on here? Oh, it's the thing that Tori sent me. Oh, well. Yeah. So my birthday's Monday. I'll be at a water park. I'll tell you guys more about that on Tuesday when I come in. And, yeah. We'll figure that out. I'll be 30. Not looking forward to being 30, guys. But, yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to get going. I hope all the people in California, are staying safe and, all that fun stuff. Coming soon, Jason Lee will be on the show, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend. And go Eagles. Because it's a big game this week. Eagles versus the Packers. My two favorite teams. A lot of people don't notice I am a Packers fan. I used to love the Packers because of Rodgers, but now that Rodgers is for the Jets, it's like, do I become a Jets fan? And a lot of people hate Rodgers because of who he is. I mean, I think he's a nice guy. But that's just my opinion. All right. Love you all to death. I'll see you guys later, and until next time. Bye. 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 Bye.